Unit C focuses on the role of assessment within education and training and how good assessment underpins all sort of good teaching really. So you've got three main types. You've got initial, formative and summative. We've already focused on initial quite a bit, and that's obviously finding out about your learners before they come on your course and trying to meet any specific needs they might actually have. The second type, formative assessment, is the ongoing. So this is anything you do along the pathway within the course. So it could be in the classroom, could be, through assessment emails, anything at all that you do to make sure people are following, understanding the course, ultimately in preparation for the final assessment, which leads us on to summative assessment. As the name suggests, this is what comes towards the end, and this is what tests your students' knowledge overall on the specific topic subject, often coming from an awarding body, and will actually enable you to pass, fail or grade a student within that subject. Just looking a bit more in detail about the characteristics of these three types of assessments. So we've already mentioned initial is going to involve application forms, interviews, phone conversations. I've also mentioned sort of diagnostic tests here. So this could be for literacy, numeracy, ICT, some qualifications you might need a minimal level of literacy because there's a large written component, and so diagnostic tests in these areas may enable you to determine if students are suitable for the course. I've also mentioned opening activities. These could be icebreakers, activities that you do towards the beginning of your course just to find out that bit more information about your students and just check that they're on the right course and it's the right program for them. Formative, well, we've got lots of different types of formative assessments. We've obviously got verbal, written questions, worksheets, observations, quizzes, fill in the blanks, lots of different activities you might do along the way. There's no set rules about what formative assessments you actually use, and formative assessments could be as simple as observing someone who's maybe struggling with an activity and maybe they throw their pen down because they're finding it really difficult, or you can just tell from their sort of body language that they're struggling. That will come under formative assessment. So a good teacher or trainer will be constantly checking on the progress of their learners. If you don't do the good formative assessment along the way, it's very difficult to actually determine where people are up to and how they might actually do in the final summative assessment. So your formal summative assessments, I guess examinations are the most well known, but they can be broken down into sort of multiple choice, written exams, verbal examinations. You've got presentations, assignments, coursework. So there's lots of different summative assessments out there. They're often set by the awarding body or the exam board, and it's how your students actually prove their knowledge within the subject, and as we mentioned earlier, actually grade them. So there's just a little insight into the three main types and the characteristics of the different types of assessment within education and training.